Hello. Welcome to this video review for Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, the original white label. Okay, what do we know about this? I don't know a whole lot. I know it's 80 proof. It's from the James B. Beam Distilling Company, excuse me, of Claremont in Frankfort, Kentucky. Since 2014, it's been part of Beam-Suntory. They merged with Suntory of Japan. They're saying it was established in 1795 or like around that time. We know the Beam family immigrated from the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation, the First Reich, the Holy Roman Empire. They came to America, to Kentucky. They started brewing bourbon and whiskey. In the late 18th century, after Prohibition, the guy that got it rolling again was Jim Beam, and the brand was named after him in honor. The family honored him for kind of getting operations rolling again, and the 7th generation of the family runs it today. A man named Noe, N-O-E, Fred Noe to the Third, N-O-E, Fred Noe. Also, the Beam family apparently has always been the master distillers at Heaven Hill Distillery. So Fred Noe is the master distiller at Jim Beam. Mainly he does promotionals around the world. Sort of like Stan Leibowitz, you know, at Marvel Comics. He was the publisher of the company, but mainly he just was the promoter of the company. From around 1973 onward, he just was sort of like the face of Marvel Comics, the brand promoter. The day-to-day operations were run by the editor-in-chief and all that. But anyway, you know, okay, Fred Noe is the master distiller. The distillers at Heaven Hill now, the master distillers are Parker Beam and his son Craig Beam. Okay, this is aged 4 years. There's a pentagram of taste, like on the website they show a pentagram of taste in the glass. And I said, well, that just could be 5 different tasting parameters, or maybe they're Scottish Rite, Freemason. All right, anyway, I don't want to be found in the river, you know, with water above my head and bricks in my pockets. But anyway, they say it's sweet, sweet, grain. The parameters are sweetness, grain, oak, fruit, and char. And they also talk about caramel, mild, mellow caramel, and vanilla notes. I wrote these notes down. There's also, and there's a whole line of sitting on this branch. There's a whole line of Beam whiskeys, bourbon whiskeys, and the one that's not listed on their website is the one you saw reviewed before, and I did another taste challenge with it. It was the Beam's 8-star from 1976. I was wondering, you know, why don't they list it? It tastes pretty good. It's a blend. It's not really a bourbon. Well, okay, it's not a bourbon. They could list it on the Beam-Suntory website instead of hiding it in the PDF files archives. But anyway, so okay, it's not a bourbon. But I think another reason is it tastes pretty good, and then if too many people know about it, it might undercut the sales of this, which is not particularly expensive either. The Beam's 8-star is like super budget brand, you know, down there with like your Rich and Rare, or Canadian Mist, or I was thinking of this other one, Black Velvet, you know. So if people just, they might just start buying that, and the sales of this might be impacted. So I mean, just they're saying let it sell itself. We don't even care if it exists, you know, we making money. But this is like their flagship, so they gotta treat this with a little more care. Why you may have Jewish immigrants from Synovitz, doing promotions for this brand. Synovitz in Bukovina. You've seen the commercials, haven't you? Okay, there's the sun peeking out through these clouds. It's become cloudy as the dickens out here just after 2 p.m. Yeah. It's budding though. It's gonna make some pretty flowers soon. Okay, nice alcohol eggs. Well, I had another brand from Beam-Suntory, which the Jim Beam Company bought in 1987. I had a review of the Old Crow, but it was the original Old Crow that existed until 1987 before the buyout. And it was darker than this. It was more copper. Even had some red notes. So, but that was aged 8 years. This is aged 4 years. That was bottled in bond, 100 proof. This is not. It's only 80 proof. Although, in 1977, when that Old Crow was bottled, it was probably priced lower than Jim Beam. And that was a fascinating review because the Old Crow from 1977, I mean, it had so many rich flavors and it was so extraordinary, and other people are commenting, that's the hidden jewel, that's the jewel of the cheap bourbon world, you know, whatever. I didn't know a thing about it until Bob gave it to me. Thank you, Bob. I mean, I'd heard of it, but I didn't know about it. I heard of this. What did I know about it? I didn't really know about this. I just heard of it. Okay, so it's the #1 selling bourbon whiskey in the world. There's a number of video reviews, and I intend to watch those and comment upon them. So it looks, you know, pretty nice. Alcohol eggs. The smell is nice. Not as rich as the one I had, but this hadn't aged 40 years. You know, it hadn't been in somebody's cabinet for 40 years. It's aged in the charred oak barrels. They didn't say white oak, they just said charred oak. And it was $1.97 for this 100 milliliter plastic bottle at Walmart. Well, that's comparable, I guess, to the 750 milliliter bottle, which is about, what, $13 to $15 a bottle, probably? Some stores might have a big sale and have it for $11.99, $12.99. And that's, where is that positioned? Right with your Evan Williams, Early Times, Benchmark. You say, but those are Tennessee whiskeys, and I know, but they're all priced about the same. Kentucky, Tennessee, one's above the other. All right. Both became states around the same time. Both west of the Appalachian Mountains. Appalachian Mountains. Well, I guess the eastern borders areas touch the mountains, do they not? Generally west, because I'll start getting comments. I know the Appalachians stretch all the way down to below Birmingham, Alabama, all the way up to Maine and to the maritime provinces of Canada. I know geography. All right. It's spicy in the nose, and it's fairly full in the nose. It's mostly full in the nose. It's a pretty mellow item, though. I would have to say it's not as bold as the... But, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to keep talking about the Old Crow. That was 100 proof. This is 80 proof. You know, that was bottled and bond. This is not. So, you know, it's like... It doesn't make sense to bring it up. Not to mention it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so it's a nice aroma. It's not profound or like life-changing, but it's pleasant. It's nice, and I can't see anybody could complain about it. Eric Fraunfelter, Thomas Meadow, Massachusetts Beer Reviews. He said he might want to do a hangout on this. And if I have to get another bottle one day, I mean, I'll probably just buy the 750 though. I mean, I don't want to buy these little tiny bottles. I just was at Walmart and I said, well, I'll get it. I told the lady, get it for me. They have those behind the glass, in the glass case, because people will steal those. But the 750s are just right on the shelf. You can pull them right off the shelf. It's got a little doctor's office antiseptic thing going on here. I've said before in my brandy reviews, it's like you cut your leg and you're at the family doctor and you're waiting to get those 10 stitches in the back of your leg and you can smell the antiseptic. It does have that. Okay, now what did I say? Sweet grain. Now I shouldn't be looking at the tasting notes. I should taste it and then see if what I'm saying compares. There is char. I was trying to figure out what that was at first. It's like a smokiness, almost like a... You say mildew? No, it's... I don't want to say that, because it's... Let's say it's peat moss. Are you drinking scotch? No, it's a... But I did say the word mildew. I mean, I said I'm not going to say it, but the word came in my head. I mean, that's, I don't know. I don't know if they're shooting for mildew. I didn't get that in the 8-star, the mildew, but that's, is that bourbon? It's 80, it's an 80-20 mix. Mine was 75-25, 2005 bottle, but anyway. All right, they're showing it with ice. Who the hell keeps blowing that air horn? Ice, but I don't ever drink these with ice. I just drink them straight. I want to get the full flavor. Yeah, like dried fruit or some, I guess, grain. That would be your typical, like, straightforward whiskey taste. And some either pecan oil or walnut oil, which is not too unusual, I don't think. Oh, what is this? Stuff down here. This glass is clean, people. It's kind of mentholated, spearmint, you know, or I should say wintergreen, you know. Or is it spearmint? Now I have to go chew gum. I don't know. I'm confused. The body's like medium, right? Like that 1977 bottled Old Crow was low medium in the body. This like medium. The finish is pretty smooth. It's tolerably smooth. Okay, it's not as good as the Old Crow 100 proof bottled in bond. Well, how could it be? Now I'm starting to feel the warmth. It's starting to come in play. It's kind of like a spicy warmth, like a prickly, like a no way unpleasant. I was looking on Proof 66, the kind of a pretty good website, kind of prominent website for tasting liquor, and they were saying what do they call it, category 3 or a 3 grade, and they were saying that means it's or it's class 3, I can't remember, and I know they said it did win a bronze, a silver, and a gold at 3 different competitions at San Francisco World Spirits competition from like 2005 up to today. So it did win 3 medals. So okay, somebody thought it was worthy of medals. I don't know about that. I'm not doing blind taste tests. But they said that these kind of things, even though it's recommended by people, they're sort of budget price, and they can present what they said exotic flavors. Yeah, and I'm going along with that because it's like I would say that mildew is an exotic flavor. don't pick that up in the aroma. You know, it's not every day you can drink a bourbon that has mold characteristics. I think that it's a misapprehension on my part of what I'm tasting. It's something to do with the aging in the barrels and the process over there in Frankfurt and Clermont. I don't think, and the H-star, you know, and I don't think aging in a plastic, the PET, the plastic bottle for 11 years is necessarily going to add to the character of it. If it stayed in an oak barrel, it might. That was aged 11 years. This one is from 20, it does have the date, guys. It says it somewhere on here. Oh, right. Okay, where did I get it? Here it is. It's 2016 and it's the 153rd day. The 153rd day of 2016, okay? So, yeah, that's not bad. Now, there were two different labels. Like, they changed the label at Walmart. They had this one, and then they had one that was signed, or it was, like, different. I said, huh. They changed the label at some point, but the lady, you know, she just grabbed it and said, here. And, I mean, I wasn't going to say, I can't decide which label, and she might have said, get out of my aisle, you know, get off my register, you freak, you know, because I don't really appreciate that, like, liquor drinking geek approach, or they don't understand it, or they don't understand it nor appreciate it, or both. Or anyway, I mean, I think it's interesting, and I don't think it's a reflection of the quality of the product. It's me not knowing enough. And the more I'm sipping on it, I'm appreciating it more. I think it has a lot of potential. Now you might be saying, yeah, it's the #1 bourbon since 1790. You know, I mean, it's been on the market off and on, you know, with Prohibition, but it's the world's #1 bourbon, 1795, approximately 1795. A lot of people think it has some potential. But, you know, Bud Light is the #1 beer in America, and isn't that one of the most fashionable things to rip apart? And you don't want to let yourself get caught enjoying that, right? So I don't know. It is good, and it has a lot of character, and I would be very willing to explore it more. Okay, so I would say that, of course, I'm going to recommend trying it. It's not like I'm sitting here drinking Camo Silver Ice, which I wouldn't give to anybody. I would say buy it and check it out, and don't rush to judgment. Maybe you should think on it, you know, drink on it and think on it, and then try to figure it out. So I got a lot of thinking to do about this, and I don't think this little 100 milliliter bottle is going to do the trick. So down the road, I'm going to try to explore it more, right? So it's like an early exploration. But if you looked at my cabinet, I've got so many to look at. I've got the 10 high, the Ancient Age, all the brandies, all the gin, all the wine. And I don't want to get where they're all open and I'm trying to like sip through my, you know, I want to try to finish them off and then get to the next, but I don't know, I keep cheating or something, you know, jumping ahead, and then I don't finish them off, and then it's all a big backlog. So anyway, well, blah, 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 murmur. So let's just say I'm a little confused by this, but I'm intrigued by it, right? So I'm glad I tried it. So Jim Beam, thank you for watching this video production.